Hi and welcome to Surviving Denmark and my first wilderness camping trip of sorts. On my first wild camp. After struggling around in the nearby forest, finding two camping sites already occupied by other campers, I found this very nice place. But I'm naming this episode "Be Wary of Gifts from Strangers." This nice wood was left for me by the public forestman. But well, I've never met birch that I couldn't light on fire. This must be the wettest birch I've ever seen. After splitting it, batoning it, cutting it to really small pieces, I could not get a spark to it. So I put on my gloves, collected a bunch of dry grass from the area. Luckily it hasn't rained for a couple of days. And then I set to it again. I still couldn't get it to burn. And then common sense took over, because I already knew the wood was really red. And I wandered around the area for a couple of minutes, found some dead standing trees, broke off a couple of branches, and whoop-de-doo, I have a big roaring fire. And I have plenty of firewood laying around, and I bet at this temperature even the very wet birch will burn eventually. So I'm gonna put some more fire on it, and when we're down to some nice hot embers, I'm going to cook some water. So the fire is slowly going down to embers. I'm still feeding the fire a bit because I didn't get the big pieces of wood to burn. They were simply too soggy and wet. But I found a bunch of smaller sticks and branches, and well, became a quite nice campfire. Now I've put half a liter of water in my mess tin, and hopefully it will boil pretty fast. It's aluminum and has a cap on it, so it should not take all that long. The fire's pretty warm, so I'm roaring back now. Hi and welcome to Surviving Denmark. I decided to go on a bit of a wild camp. I had a long day at work and I didn't want to be bothered driving all the way home. So I thought, hey, the easy solution will be to go on a wild camp. Found a shelter just 500 meters from my work, but I thought that was too easy. So I found a spot around 2 kilometers away. And after stumbling through the darkness only with my small headlamp, I found out the spot was already taken. So I wanted maybe 2 or 3 kilometers more, and found this very nice spot and a bunch of really wet wood. Some of the foresters in the area have been placing wood for people going camping, but they shouldn't have bothered because it was so wet that in no way I could get it to burn. So I found some standing dead wood and broke off branches and small twigs and got a good fire going. And now I'm preparing my very late dinner. Some freeze-dried food from can't remember, you'll see in a minute. And it will be my first experience with freeze-dried food, so wish me luck. Yeah, so this is my dinner for tonight, chicken eat, and it's chicken in curry rice. And yeah, as I said, my first experience with freeze-dried food. I think this is going to be quite a large meal. And I'm really not that hungry, but I've been looking forward to trying this out, so I'm very hopeful. I'm just waiting for the water to boil, and then I'll have a big taste and probably leave a bunch for the animals, which are abundant around here. I can hear ducks and frogs and so around, I don't know, 30 deers grazing on the area when I was walking in. Sadly my camera is shit, so I couldn't record the beautiful sunset and all the animals just standing around. They're really tame around here because there's not much hunting going on, so I could probably have petted some of the deer if I was careful enough, but I'm not here to pet deers, I'm here to test out my gear. My food is just about done. Yeah, the alarm is going off. Food is done. 10 minutes. First experience, I need a long spoon. This is horrible for stirring the food. So I got the food in all the innards of this little mess kit. I just ended up closing it really tight, shaking it a lot. But it should be mixed good and proper now. But I'm using the mesh tin to eat from because it would be horrible eating directly from the bag, as most people do. Smells like food. That's okay. So, God, that's a lot of food. It's yellow goo, as I expected, and there's a lot. Oh my God, I'm not going to sleep today. Nah, that is a lot. I also found out that this campsite is very civilized. There is a outhouse just out there in the darkness. Also, I'm happy to know just a bit about wildlife and forests. There were some really strange noises just a couple of minutes ago, but I quickly figured out that was just some of the local deer in heat. So the males were sort of fighting. It's a strange time of the day or night to fight each other, but the sound I could hear was their antlers playing against each other. My first thought was, of course, we are in Denmark, angry orcs are attacking my camp, but apparently the orcs have gone to sleep. Well, first trying this gooey stuff. I can already see I have not stirred this good enough. There's big lumps of dry things. This is going to be horrible, but it smells good. So if I take my time, maybe the lumps will have softened up when I get to those. hope. Oh my god. Yeah. Here it goes. Half cooked crunchy rice. It's not one of my favorites, I must admit. I did put a bit extra water in it, as I've seen some people recommend. I added around, I don't know, 20 centiliters extra, but still, I think it's because I didn't stir it good enough that it's still crunchy. Don't really taste like much, so luckily I bought a little tin of spices. Most of the time can fix everything. That was a lot. Oh well. Now it will most definitely taste like something. It will be goo mush with spices on it. So another good stir, hoping for the best. Here in the complete darkness. The walk in here drained the battery of my normal main lamp. Luckily I have some really cheap lamps from my normal automotive store, and they really saved this trip. I think combined there is about lights for 70 kroners here, Danish kroners, and yeah, can't beat it. So another stir. We'll try again. Yep, spices definitely cheered it up. This is supposed to be chicken and rice. I'm guessing the chicken is been reduced to really small pieces to get the freeze drying treatment. But yeah, consistency of chunky baby food or maybe dog food. I haven't tried that. You can live off it, but won't be a good life. Gets better. On this trip I was actually planning to try out my new hammock and my homemade tarp, but my first campsite, as I explained, was simply too convenient. I should have taken the first one. The second one was already occupied, and this one is really nice. It's a nice campsite, but there is no real trees to speak of in close vicinity to the fire. So I decided to wait for next time to try out my hammock, and to be completely honest, I'm not looking forward to it. I've only tried sleeping in a hammock once, and I actually got seasick, which is quite impressive since I don't get seasick on ships, not even in storms. But I got really seasick last time I tried sleeping in a hammock. But since then I've learned that you can secure it down so it don't swing so much, and next time I probably won't use trees around 30 meters high in a slight wind, so the trees will swing with the wind and thereby swing me around. So that will be in my next video, or my next camping video. Also, it's been brought to my attention that in Denmark we drink all the time. Normally I don't drink beer, but for the occasion I bought some beer. It's a Danish beer called Ceres, and the first campsite I had picked out actually also was convenient for another reason. There is a portal. I'm an avid player of the Google game Ingress, where you travel around historical and cultural places and pretend they are portals to another dimension and fight for control over them. And since I'm on the resistance side, I can only drink blue beer. Normally I would have selected something green like a Carlsberg or a Tuborg, but as the English resistance player I am, I have to drink the blue ones. So for you, my my public out there, cheers. Okay, that was a nice beer actually. Good decision. I'm sort of expecting someone to stand in the darkness laughing at my horrible English, but they're not laughing that loud, at least. And until now, no axe-wielding murderers have approached me. I've decided that, sorry, it's actually beginning to be good. I've decided, since there have been some interest in my channel, that as a reminder to myself, for every 10 subscribers I get, I'll try to get a new video out. So I've already planned a couple of videos. I've made a gravity works system for the live straw I have, since that's the biggest drawback for it. It's really cheap and it's very durable, but you can't easily connect it to a bottle system. So I've made one of those, and I'm going to make a video about that. And since I'm also a Viking reenactor, I'm in a fighting group and planning to use most of my summer vacation going to big not Renaissance fairs, Viking markets, and fight for the most of the summer. I thought, hey, I have a lot of nice gear made of wool, for instance, and linen. So I'm going to make, at some time at least, a camping trip only using the materials I would have as a Viking. So that's going to be interesting, and maybe even bring some of my friends along, on the promise of beer and meat, of course. So it's actually really good now. I just should have waited more, about 5 minutes more. So I hope you will keep your interest in this, and maybe come with some good advice. For example, what camera to bring. This is the second camera today. The first one was a normal photo camera that takes high definition video, but the battery is shite. So any good advice you can give me. Most of the stuff I've been using on this trip is inspired by you guys out on YouTube and all the nice videos I've been watching since December. So yeah, post it in the comments. Yeah, it's nice actually. Right now I'm using an action camera, and I can see a small preview of the quality on my phone. And I just realized I look like some crazed serial killer in this light. Maybe that will scare people away from this channel, but hey, what can I do? I look like a serial killer. Morning. I just slept my first night in my baby bag in the shelter in there, and actually it was quite comfortable. Slept like a log. Yeah, slept like a log. So next time I'll be trying that out the hammock and the tarp system. But otherwise, really nice night. Just wanted to show you the place in full daylight. There's lots of trees that I hung my hammock on, so maybe I'll stick to the same side next time. Bye.